Yo, She-Hulk? Straight up better call my man Daredevil. Or that would just be twisted. Welcome to Voice of the Fat Mantis and my review of She-Hulk Episode 8. The one guest starring Daredevil, although they labeled it Ribbit and Rip it. This show, man. This show, it seems to be more about hooking up than it is about superheroism. But the reason this is my favorite episode is because it finally had vigilante justice and actually exerting heroism within it. It guest stars Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock from the Netflix series, meaning that at least his show is semi-canonical and his existence in the universe is firmly canonical. Although, as usual, the premise of the episode is idiotic and stupid and usually involves a D-level superhero or supervillain making idiotic jokes and doing something stupid. However, it allows Daredevil to come in and represent someone in a lawsuit against She-Hulk, and it was really great to see. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to Voice of the Fat Mantis. So I gotta say, in terms of CGI, one thing they really mess up on is her body and her clothes. A lot of times her clothes don't look real. It doesn't look like real fabric. But you know what they get right? Her face. And I gotta say this. Since the show is about hooking up, I feel safe saying this. She's very beautiful, both as Tatiana Maslany, Jennifer Walters, and as She-Hulk. The CGI they do of her face is beautiful. There's a scene where she looks up at Luke and she's in court and she smiles and she has the most beautiful smile. She's like lighting up the room. And I don't mean a green glow. Later on, when she has her superhero costume on, which looked marvelous, baby, and she's actually talking to Daredevil when they actually do their team up, she also looked amazing. Very beautiful face. They do that correctly, and I gotta applaud them on this. Now, the episode was best because of Daredevil. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the things that were She-Hulky just went off the rails. They had a Wakanda Forever joke, which was so cringe, it made me want to throw up. I couldn't wait till Charlie Cox was back on the scene. Now, of course, this is leading for them to eventually hook up. As I discussed earlier, that's what this show is really about. And I gotta say, as a straight man, Charlie Cox is a charming son of a bitch. There's a part where they're in the bar and he's whining and dining her and just being a charming SOB. And later on, when they're on the rooftop and she's staring into his eyes and he's listening to her heartbeat, he is just so charming. I mean, what woman wouldn't want to sleep with this guy? And I'm really glad he returned. Now let's talk about his appearance real quick. When he suits up in his yellow and red outfit, booyah! He's amazing. He's utterly amazing. He keeps it as real as he kept it in the Netflix original series, as in gritty. He's ready to break the necks of all who bring injustice. All the goons and henchmen should watch out. However, they did something that I feel the show was usually lacking in, actually, and they gave him his agility. Remember, Daredevil is a super agile, super balanced, super reflex type of a dude. He runs rooftop to rooftop, he runs on tight ropes, and he swings off of ropes. He's a swashbuckler who travels through the night air. And they normally kind of skip over his mode of transportation in Netflix. I sometimes think it's an afterthought when they decide to give him a super agility scene. However, this was all over the place. We got to see him doing flips and splits and all sorts of stuff, and I was there for it. This show is notorious for its bad CGI, other than her face, as I said. And so sometimes he did look a little CGI-y, but I'm saying in Born Again, if they actually have a good special effects department do their work, and if this is just kind of like a pre-showing of that, then I'm all about that. I'm all about that agility life. Yo, there's a part in the hallway sequence. That's right. They give him a hallway sequence where he pulls out his baton and it becomes nunchucks. It like retracts from nunchucks back into a baton. It was awesome. And this is the type of brutality I love from my Daredevil. He's in it for a short time. They end up sleeping together. And I gotta say, the highlight of this, there's a funny joke about the walk of shame, but it's followed by Tatiana Maslany breaking the fourth wall, looking directly into the camera, and talking about her orgasm. But yes, her orgasm. It makes you chuckle. It makes you laugh. I'm glad to hear that Daredevil is rapping in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? But it totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. In terms of the stuff that's going on in the She-Hulk side of things, this was not great. This was absolutely not great. Once again, they have a leapfrog character that just didn't work on any level, not even on a comical level. The plot was paper thin. Ultimately, I don't know where they're headed, and at the end, they did something so cringe. It's just like, I'm not even sure if I want to see the finale. In it, she wins an award. For the last couple of episodes, she's been up for Lawyer of the Year. When she gets up to collect her award, they award it to multiple women, taking the steam out of her, making her embarrassed in front of her parents and her friends. And you know what it is? I'm sick of this show posting L's for her. She-Hulk seems to be about a loser, and actually, I used to read the comic a lot, and the comic was never about her being a loser. As a matter of fact, it was about her being a competent winner. Now, I don't understand why they haven't figured out that consistently we want to see our superheroes be competent and together and not a mess. They can have setbacks and failures and flaws, and they can make mistakes, but if you make them consistently incompetent, we're not going to like them. And particularly if you're trying to bring a feminist agenda to it, you're doing a bad job because you're making She-Hulk look like a loser on every front. She has sexual failure all the time. She cannot stand up to her boss. She's not actually a girl boss. And for those who know girl bosses in your life, maybe you've got a sister or a cousin, maybe you date them. And I have it all in my life. And I got to say that they are competent, strong, and often don't put up with crap. They may in certain areas of their life, but not every aspect of their life is a failure. And I just don't know what they're going for. I feel like the show isn't sure if it's about feminism or what. Certainly it's not about superheroics. They have yet to, other than this episode, provide such a thing. So there is a last third act, which is about 10 minutes long, about She-Hulk, where Daredevil is completely removed. It's almost tacked on as extra. And I gotta say, it doesn't make me excited for the coming episode, the finale. She is shamed at the award ceremony by a video that's posting her losses, and then they show her having sex with the Asian guy from the Wrecking Crew. For some reason, out of all the losses she's had, this is the one that takes the cake, and it makes her flip out. And she smashes the wall, and she's attacking people. And for some reason, security, who have laser weapons, mind you, go after her and not after against the people who instigated this fight. It was just bad writing and all around a mess. When I'm wasting my time around doing things, I like to have the TV on as background noise, and sitcoms are perfect for that. People argue that this show is a sitcom, and it isn't. It is actually not attempting to emulate a sitcom at all. As a matter of fact, WandaVision did a better job of being a sitcom than She-Hulk is being. And that doesn't make any sense if you think about it. I really do think that if they had made this an actual sitcom, even put a laugh track in it, God forbid, audiences would absorb it better. I'm not sure what they're going for, because the jokes about Wakanda and Leapfrog were just so lame. I'm not sure who would actually laugh at that. The show can't be for kids because it's too sexually charged. She's given it up to everyone and their mother. Todd is literally the only guy who's advanced she has ever turned away. I mean, it breaks my heart. I don't care that She-Hulk's a player, but I don't want to see her be a slut. Do you? Please let me know down in the comments, what did you think of the illustrious return of Daredevil? I'm super excited. I can't wait for Born Again, man. This is going to be so good. Good things are on the rise, even though Marvel isn't delivering them at this very moment. But please let me know. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to Voice of the Fat Mantis so we can talk about She-Hulk. The eventual finale, thank God it's here, and all sorts of other nerd news. It's fit to print. Until next time, ciao. For now.